So welcome back. It's a very beautiful place here. This is the old town of Skopje and I really love it. It's a beautiful ancient cultural heritage of prime significance for Europe and it's really very beautiful. Now it's the morning, it's empty. In the evening it's full of people and a lot of tourists again and a lot of young people. The whole society here sitting out in the night and having fun and enjoying hopefully the end of Corona. Whoever knows, maybe we have another part of the crisis. But here actually vaccination is beautifully going and there is progress obviously. And here we see this beautiful town and it's really very nice. I like it a lot. Here you can sit and celebrate and it's a tourist center of prime significance and I really like it very much and I'm enjoying the days here. It's of course, a lot of jobs are closed. Unfortunately, the tourism crisis was hitting this place similar hard like others. Sorry, I have to drink something and get my morning coffee going. And here, for example, you see beautifully everything is moving ahead. And it's actually now the international tourism has started. I could also travel and so you see the place is moving and it's just very hot here. If you come in the heat of the summer you have to be ready for that. It's not so perfect. I need my morning coffee and then I can somehow get talking about the situation. In the summer I will do more video podcasting and I will do less of this podcasting. I will try to record one podcast now on Pax Europiana channel in order to also tell everybody that I'm now more video podcasting because I think it's more interesting here when I'm in these exciting and beautiful places to show you directly also on a video how the world is looking and that this is a wonderful EU capital of a EU member state very soon because we cannot wait for decades to come. It's completely ridiculous. We have now 20 years peace here. Development is going. There is this institutional harmony between the ethnic groups since it all is established. It's a major success and we have not so many successes. To my best knowledge, Macedonia is the best success we have in this decade of crisis in Europe. The peace between Greece and Macedonia is the one thing we have achieved and we should be very proud about it. And this is something of prime significance, because when you look around, we have, since Croatia joined in 2013, we have achieved pretty nothing. And the Russians have hammered us hard, from Ukraine to Georgia, to Libya, to Syria, to the migration crisis. What exactly we have achieved? I cannot see anything else but this. Of course, Montenegro joined NATO, that was also very good. But the whole of the Macedonian institutional progress, the establishment of this language rights, and this is the University for Southeastern Europe. I'm passing here now, and here I was sitting yesterday. It's very beautiful. And here, of course, we come back to the inner part. This is the one geostrategic success of the Juncker Commission, significance not only for Southeastern Europe, for all Europe. And I don't know, okay, we had some progress on the trade agreements. That was good with Japan and with Vietnam. I don't say we only achieved Macedonia, but this was the most important when it comes to peace and to the strategic security and the fragile Eastern European periphery of Europe. And this is actually, to my best knowledge, I'll show you here and here, the castle, the old town basically below the castle. And here you see all this. It's the only success, 2018 and then of course 19 to get it through the parliament in Greece and in Macedonia, ratified, the peace agreement. I don't know we had any other success on the geostrategic front. If you have Stravo. This gentleman wants to clean my shoes, very good. And he's also very nice. He's from the Roma minority. He told me the equal rights are there. He doesn't feel discriminated. He just wants to have a better job. I will also try in the next days to go to the Holocaust Museum, to the Womerah Museum, and to the National Museum. These were the 3 museums I personally am very interested. So the church is ringing here, and yeah, it's the only success we had, and that then we ourselves torpedoed our success. Not we, it was the Bulgarians and the French, yeah. By probably with Russian support, yeah. But that we torpedo our only success, it's very hard for me to understand, almost impossible for me to understand. And here you see Cyril and Method. I showed you already yesterday the Holocaust Museum, the Womerah Museum, a lot of museums to discuss. And I think I will have the time tomorrow at this place to go through and to discuss then also that one. But that we did this triple hard strike, yeah, it's still today, when I think about it, only one success we had. And then we destroyed, Macedonia is in NATO, and it will be in the EU, but we torpedo it, trying to torpedo it very hard. And what my contact persons and my friends here say to me is that a settlement with Bulgaria is not coming so easily. I am also skeptical. The concessions expected by Bulgaria alone are much too high for Macedonia, and it's impossible without international mediation led by the Americans. We need basically a similar process like with Greece, a joint action by the Americans and the Europeans on the top level. Now we have Mrs. Merkel and Biden meeting. It's also one of the reasons I do these videos. I send it to all the German decision makers I know. I don't know if anybody has time to listen. Probably they are too busy with themselves. But the thing is, we have here the urgent need for a joint dialogue led by the Americans and the Europeans. Because the Europeans are biased. It must be the Americans. Yeah? Bulgaria is our member, so Bulgaria is, of course, the stronger partner here. I also call for concessions by Macedonia. Again, I say it very clearly that we don't need a Womerah Day. No, the 23rd of October can easily go. We don't need that. There's a museum, it's enough. Not every political party can impose its national day on a nation. We don't need the 11th of October. Yeah. This is for the Tito partisan uprising in 44. Here you can see many of their monuments as well. I showed you yesterday as well. We don't need these party political days of specific kind of narratives which are very questionable. On the 11th of October 44, it was just a few partisans. They didn't deoccupy Macedonia from Bulgarian fascism. They didn't win the World War II. Let's be a bit more clear on that one. If you want to celebrate the victory, celebrate with all victory, World War II victory, on the 8th of May. That's fine. That's the European day to celebrate the end of Nazi Germany. We all celebrate that. So that's decent. But we cannot impose, every political party, the left, the right, imposes on a nation its own specific kind of party ideological narrative, which is very questionable from international historic perspective. No, this is not the way. A country needs one national day, like America has 4th of July, everybody knows that, and Independence Day. Here, Independence Day is the 8th of September. It's fully enough. And here we have the 2nd of August for the Ilindian uprising, number 1. This is basically the 1902 uprising against Ottoman suppression. We have the 11th of October for the Yugoslavian partisans uprising. We have the 23rd for the foundation of Womerah, a terrorist organization back then. Okay, and we have the 8th of September as the Independence Day. And of course for the Albanians, much more important, the Ohrid celebration on the 13th of August. Yeah? So every ethnic group, every political party has their own national day. Get a grip, really. This is not serious. Yeah? It's enough to have one Independence Day, like in America, like the 14th of July. Good, we can discuss about that one as well. But okay, these are important days. In Austria, we have the 26th of October. Good, we can discuss about that one as well. But one day, National Day, Independence Day, that's good. And the rest can be for the party to celebrate. Wimmerver can celebrate its own foundation beautifully itself. No need to involve everybody else. This is now the city shopping center. This is the main square here. Again, many of the monuments I will maybe learn, Alexander, to say hello. But as I say, Identity Day, National Day, one holiday, one national celebration of the independence, 8th of September, and the rest can be memorial days, or for minor significance, yeah. They can become celebrated, yeah, but not as a major state official day. Yeah. What is the foundation of Wimmerer for today's Macedonia? What is Linden? This is all, that's we don't celebrate every day from the monarchy. This is a long time ago. This is the past. This is now no longer of relevance. Yeah? And I call to make sure that we change this narrative and we change the identity. This is what Macedonia can do. The compromise on the languages, I don't see so. Yeah? And it should be very clear, because we have now a big debate here in Macedonia about languages. And because the Speaker of the Parliament used Albanian in Brussels, obviously he's now very careful to use both languages and English. Yeah? And this should be the working language of Macedonia, in my view, very clearly, should be Albanian and English and of course Macedonian. And Macedonian will be the main notified language, because Albanian will come as a notified language via the membership of Albania. So it's so logical, yeah. So they will both bring their languages and they will both have a full translation. And we should now already do the full translation of all text in Macedonian, and of course they will get their own languages, because different than in the case of Austria, where the Germans insisted that we don't have our own language, Macedonian is quite different from Bulgarian, yeah, from mainstream Bulgarian, from the Sofia language, yeah. There's people in Bulgaria who speak very similar dialect, yeah. It's true, it's very close, and it's close between the Croatians and the Serbians. But we will also not have Serbia in the EU, and then ask the Serb before to say the language is Serbo-Croatian. Yeah, I think it will not happen, I'm quite sure. So we will have we have already Croatian, we have Bulgarian, and we will definitely have also Macedonian language and Montenegrinian language. Yeah, we will have that. Yeah, and then we will have Serbian language, and they might be very similar, but this is something also the European taxpayer has to accept. It's not otherwise possible. So we will also have Ukrainian. It's also quite similar. And so to Slovakian, so they understand each other, but nevertheless it's a different language, and there is no doubt about it. And the big battle on that one will come with Serbian. Once Montenegro is already officially registered, then and Croatian, there's of course much less difference between between Croatian and Serbian than between Croatian and Montenegrin, and Montenegrin and Serbian. But we have to be honest, we have to do that. We have to. It's maybe expensive, but given the ethnic divide here and the hatred, each language is very much about the identity as well. We in Austria, we were easily to say, okay, we are speaking German. We always spoke German, it's not such a big thing. But here, in these cases, it must be clear, Macedonian is, and that's why I call as well, in the dialogue with between the two countries now, this state committee, which has not met for a long time now, it's also very important that we take out, I will show you again the Arc de Triomphe, but we take the language issue out because it can be regulated. We have the European process for that. The historic and identity issues, all these heroes of Wimmer and of the resistance against the Turks, and all these complicated identity issues and history issues of Bulgaria and Macedonia. Let's never forget, this is really very complicated. Because what happened here is obviously the southern drive of Serbia and the taking of this territory, what is today Kosovo and Macedonia in 1912. And the Bulgarians very busy with the Turks on the Istanbul front and Adrianople. And then they were, of course, very unhappy about this territory being. But that's all history of 1912, of the First World War, and how toxic it all was. And then they had this Blagoveia graph republic, and they had also these assassinations of the Prime Minister of Bulgaria and the King of Yugoslavia, all connected obviously with the question of Macedonia. I mean, it's a very explosive, toxic issue. Do we want to really battle it out on the European field? It's impossible, yeah. These issues have to go in an international historical commission with American and European professors for history, and there will be over time, over the next 20 years, can be settled and can be a common narrative, a common perspective. But ultimately, it will never be fully consistent to the dreams of a greater Macedonia, greater Bulgaria. You know, this is simply one territory belongs to the state, and the borders will not be changed for sure. And so we should be very honest about this and very clear. And there will be membership, and then the historic identity issues we can settle inside the European Union later by an international commission where we have the processes to settle all these things. Yeah? And I'm sure we can find the necessary experts to do that. Yeah? But the language, we have a regulatory basis in the European Union. So we do the language, we do it according to our principle. Macedonian will be registered as the state language, the main one here in this country. Albania comes via Albania, and English should be anyhow the European language for everybody and the working language for all states in Europe, and everything should be in English, not in French. Let's get a grip with French. I like French very much. I invested a lot of time of my life in learning it, but as an international communication language, it's gone. It's over, and that's quite good so, because we in Europe we speak English. So here, obviously, this is the parliament. So here, let me again call for this necessary compromise to find the international mediation on the history, put one American professor in charge, or one Austrian professor, and let's discuss history for the next 10 years, but not on a veto basis, but let's discuss it on a factual historical basis. There it belongs, and this should be paid and supervised by the European Union. The language issue separated, Macedonian obviously going as a notified language towards Brussels, and this will be the future, and no other way. There is absolutely no other way. So then the whole issues are settled on that important front. And here I will also try to find out all the reasons, all the various. These are not the partisan. No, this is the independence movement from 1892. I mean, it was a tragedy. We could have already the Berlin Congress solved everything much better. Good, it was not to be. But now we are here to settle all these things, and this is really important. Yeah. And here I want to reiterate already. Do you see the NATO flag? It's beautiful, yeah. We have NATO here already strong, and I hope you see it. I'm very happy about that one. Just over there, no European flag, yeah. And here the European flag is missing, and this we need to get going. Yes, this is so far for the identity issues and for the whole questions. Here again you see the 44, I think that's for more immortalis. I have to really learn and find a guide to learn all the meaning of each of the monuments. It's quite spectacular, so many of them. Too much history in the Balkans. And now here, see, it's safe here. The security or insecurity of the past, basically 200 years since the Vienna Congress, fighting about the security of Macedonia here in the Southern Balkans. It's now settled, it's part of NATO. Beautifully, here's NATO flag flowing, and here the Macedonian flag, and over there the European flag missing. I call on the authorities to raise it, raise the European flag, introduce the euro, and get going. Even when the Bulgarians block political integration, there is a clear road into economic integration by the euro. This is very important. I call also to focus on one national day only, not every party their own national day. This is a major concession by Macedonia, but it's also very good for your country. celebrate the 8th of September and leave the parties to celebrate the Partisan Day and the Wimmerer Day and the Linden Day. There can be also some historic days for many other things. Yeah, the Ochrid Day. These are all very important, but not on the level of this. Yeah. So thanks a lot. This was now my small morning video walking through the city of Skopje. I have shown you some of the parts already, and I will show you more in the late afternoon and some of the beauty here. And also I will try to get into the museums if I find the time to show you the 3 main museums of Skopje, the Holocaust Museum, the Wimmerer Museum and the National History Museum, and also find out more, learn myself also more about this beautiful country with its very complex history. And obviously many will say, so complicated. No, this is the geographic situation. This is the borderline between the power centers, Russia, Turkey and Europe. It was always like this, and we have now the duty to stabilize it by membership. We have done it in 2020. We have torpedoed it. Macron has done that, and the Bulgarians. And then the Bulgarians backed by Russia, I'm sure about it. But okay. And so we have now to settle this Macedonian issue for 200 years, keeping Europe very busy inside the European Union in 2024. And the tool to do that is the euro, as I have already outlined many times. Good. So far for now. More to come. Here again the Arc de Triomphe, the Parliament, and more to come in the future. Best regards. Thanks for listening.